Conservative podcasters caught working for Russia. The Tim Walz family for Trump photo is fake. And in this world of uncertainty, a nail-biter election, and America searches for someone to guide them, to lead them, to let them know everything is all right, CNN brings back Brian Stelter. Oh yeah, it's going to be a good Friday here on The Afternoon Drive.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hey, I'm Pastor Marty, and welcome to The Afternoon Drive. So glad to have you along. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and once you are, smack the bell. Click that word all. That'll give you a notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. That's the way that we get the word out that we're here. That's the way that we can let people know about this channel. Thank you so much for helping me, for growing this channel. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, and let's enjoy Friday. Well, if you've been following the media firestorm right now, which is conservative media, you know that Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and clickbait Benny Johnson have all come under suspicion now and are under indictment that they have received millions of dollars from, can you guess? That's right, Russia. But even the indictment says that these guys were more than likely duped, that they did not realize where this money was coming from. They were signed up to be part of, I think it's called Tenet Media, a brand new company out of nowhere, which that should have been a red flag. That should have been a, who are you guys? But they trusted a fellow conservative podcaster who now works for, I should say, worked for the Blaze. Glenn was smart enough to cut her loose when all of this broke, that she had initially at one time worked for Russia Today, you know, the official Russian media outlet here in the United States. YouTube canceled Russia Today after Russia invaded Ukraine. By the way, for full disclosure's sake, I have watched Russia Today. I have no affiliation with any of these groups, any of these people, and I receive money from absolutely no one. This is a completely non-monetized, unsupported, unsponsored channel and content. What you get is me, strictly me, nothing but me, in my opinion. I am a staff of one. There you have it. Oh, and my pal Fletcher there in the background, who is my security detail. That's it. That's what you get when you tune into The Afternoon Drive. That said, Dave Rubin, the token member of the rainbow flag people that was, you know, conservative ideals. Yeah, okay. Benny Johnson is nothing but pure clickbait. I've never been a big Benny Johnson guy. I've watched his stuff. I think he's incredibly creative and talented. As far as I would think of him more of like a Babylon Bee. I would think of him more in the category of parody than I would insightful commentary. But be that as it may, his channel blew up. Mine has not. And then there's Tim Pool, who I guess at one time was what? Like a skateboarder and a music creator, and then eventually, you know, he kind of flipped over into the world of politics. Again, I've watched some of Tim Pool's stuff. Some of the people that he surrounds himself with drive me up a tree. But overall, I do find Tim Pool to be an incredibly smart, articulate guy. You know, in the very beginning of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, he was all over that. He knew exactly what that was about. It was not about Russia trying to make a power play and take over Europe, you know, and it's not about Poland. It was about keeping a port in Ukraine open so that Russia could export and import the natural resources they need. And so, just an incredibly insightful guy, but they all got caught up in something. They wanted to make this. And I know they're always talking about building this alternative, conservative economy. Got it. Understand. I also understand things like that take time. And these guys literally became like millionaires overnight. And even I'm thinking, how are they doing this just hawking coffee? And the coffee they hawk isn't really all that great, but are there really that many people buying it that they're making this kind of money? And then I'm thinking, really, how did they get so big so quick that they could handle that type of distribution to pull in that kind of revenue? And then you find out, no, they were being paid for content by this Tenet Media. Tenet Media happens to be Russia. And they invested $10 million to be given to conservative media creators at the tune of, some were getting like $100,000 a week. Some of these guys were getting $100,000 an episode, which explains why they upload 4 and 5 videos a day. And none of them, when they preach all of their conservatism and their understanding of, shall we say, conservative economics, nobody thought to pause and say, where is all this money coming from? How are they able to do this? Who am I? What? I have to admit, if somebody offered me a lot of money to do what I do here, it would be very tempting. But I would want to know a few things like, who are you? Where does this money come from? Am I, secretly receiving, money from a drug cartel? Well, who are you guys? How do you have this kind of money? Why have we never heard of you? Why have you just shown up literally overnight and you have hundreds of millions of dollars to spend on this? But see, they got caught up in the wanting the money. Me, I like to get my opinion out. I want to get the truth out. I don't have any sponsors. I don't receive any money. YouTube will not monetize me. I did apply at one time when I reached the minimum number of subscribers because I thought, well, if YouTube is going to run ads over my channel anyway to people who are unpaid subscribers, they just watch YouTube, and they're going to, in the middle of my content, it pauses to run a YouTube ad. Well, if I can get a little cut of that because it's my channel they're running it on, yeah, I'll take that because YouTube has already established those guidelines, but apparently my channel does not qualify. Shazam, Batman, who would have thought? But anyway, that all said, I don't think these guys knew they were actually being paid by Russia. They could have asked a question or two. But what it's done now, it's allowing the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media and the liberal vloggers and bloggers out there to now paint them as Russian assets. Here we go. We've all been watching the Kamala campaign and saying things like, this is like a mix of everything we've seen before. There's the Joe Biden hiding deal that Kamala's doing because, she's a walking, talking word salad and gaffe machine, and she doesn't want to be nailed down on any policies. She wants to create this image of this blank canvas, and you can make her anything you want to be, i.e. Barack Obama. I mean, she's stealing now, what is it, number 4, number 5 of Trump's ideas. Started with the no tax on tips. Now she's all on board with Donald Trump about legalizing marijuana. I mean, she just keeps copying Donald Trump's homework. So, I mean, over and over and over, she's just, kind of piecing together what other people have done. There's literally nothing original about Kamala. Camilla thinks she's a Hottie Harris. And they're repeating some of the same old. Here we go with the Russian disinformation. And you know why they do all that? Because it works. Ronald Reagan once said that he never underestimated the ability of the American people to do the right thing. I love Ronald Reagan. I came into politics and was of age under Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan is wrong. See, because I've been in the ministry almost 40 years, and the ministry is people, and I have worked with all kinds of people from a wide variety of ethnic background, personal life story, and experience background, etc., etc., etc. And I am telling you that I am never surprised when people do not the right thing, the convenient thing, the easy thing, I don't want to think about it. Amuse me. Don't make me think. See, amusement is the opposite of musing. Musing means to think. Amuse me means entertain me, but don't make me think. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it so I can get back to my video game. And that's the politics that Kamala's playing. Even if you go to her website now, after weeks of us talking about it, there's still zero policy listed there. Zero explanation of any policy listed there. And now, thanks to Dana Bash, it's been proven the media, when they ask her things, even though it's a complete 180 answer of something that she might have said a year ago or 2 years ago, nobody presses her or pushes back. And so now they're going to allow these guys allow themselves to be set up to be talked about as Russian assets, and they're going to get hammered by the Young Turks. They're going to get hammered by Kyle Kalinske and his bleach blonde hair and his mommy, Crystal Ball, who just picked him up from soccer practice so he could make another video. And they're going to get hammered by the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media. Way to go, guys. Way to go.
Meanwhile,
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one, that Walz for Trump family photo, because now the Walz family is coming out and saying these are distant relatives. We don't have anything to do with them. They're not, you know what? I didn't jump on that bandwagon. I didn't post that picture on any of my social media. I knew this is where the route was going to take. It is a fact that Tim Walz's brother in 2016 gave money to Donald Trump. It is a fact that he is conservative. It is also a fact that Tim is his brother and he has not officially endorsed Trump. He will vote for Trump, but he's not going to officially endorse him. Why? It is his brother. But Tim Walz's brother is not going to be voting for Tim Walz or Kamala Harris. He will be voting for Donald Trump. And the family photo, okay, it's a bunch of cousins, whatever. Look, conservatives, we didn't like this when they pulled this stunt with Donald Trump, where they got some of his distant relatives to write books and say things about him. You know, they were constantly trying to get his ex-wife to say things about him. She didn't. They were constantly trying to drive wedges that, you know, Tiffany Trump was the one child that was not accepted like the rest of the kids. She didn't take the bait. You know, we've always said, leave the families alone, leave them out of this. And for the most part, I follow that with right back to when the Clintons were in the White House. You know, it was leave Chelsea alone. I said when Barack Obama was in the White House, leave his daughters alone. And I say that now, leave Barron Trump alone. He's getting of age and he wants to get involved in politics. And when he throws his hat in, that's a whole different story. Until then, you leave the kids alone. You leave the family out of it. And the Tim Walz family photo thing, it's funny. Yes, Walz for Trump. That is funny. I like it. But again, when I watch some of these commentators here, even on YouTube, say things like, his whole family is against him. It is over-the-top hyperbole. It's clickbait. It's uneducated. It's easily disproven. And then you make all of us look stupid. So please, for the love of God, take 5 minutes, do some homework. You haven't got to be the first to post something. I am never worried if I am the first one to break a story and get on here. What I want to do is not necessarily be first. I want to be accurate. Now, this is the one that I've been waiting to get to. In these turbulent times in which we live, in this time of chaos and political unrest, one of the craziest political seasons we've ever seen, and that is the truth. I mean, Joe Biden, the official nominee, drops out. Kamala Harris, the most unpopular vice president in the history of vice presidents, becomes the anointed, christened, chosen one, and within a 24-hour media campaign makeover, she is the it girl. Everybody wants to hang with her. Every rap artist wants to get on a stage and twerk with her. She becomes it. The polls tighten. They create this lying, inflated polling data showing her taking the lead everywhere, and supposed filled auditoriums of bust-in homeless people that were paid to be there. And they just are trying to project and trying to black pill you into believing it is over. Kamala is it. You might as well just stay home on election day. Who can we turn to find the truth? Who can we turn to that will be fair, balanced, middle of the road, and unbiased? Well, according to CNN, It's Brian Stelter.
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
Yes, Mr. Potato Head is back. He got fired by CNN when they were trying to do a makeover and become, fair and balanced and middle of the road. And after 2 years of dumpster fire ratings, they have decided to just admittedly be what they are, a biased hack speaking version of the Democratic Party and all of the talking points that the Democratic Party hands them to put in their teleprompters to read to the American people. And here's this: the American people know it.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes a... I know
Is that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
So now the newest head at CNN came over from the New York Times, which is obviously where he knew little Brian from, Mr. Potato Head. And so Brian is back. He's got his old gig back. He's got his show back, and he has been called by the network an expert in political media analysis. Really?
Trump might have committed treason. You say the president is using mind control. What does Putin have on Trump? The U.S. president possibly working for the Russians. Is President Trump a racist? Is the Trump presidency a criminal presidency? There's no way to tweet yourself out of impeachment. Impeachment, 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 impeachment. What I hear on Fox is that the media is obsessed about impeachment. Impeachment, 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 impeachment. Entire media companies essentially exist to tear down Joe Biden. Dana Milbank, here's his column for the Post this weekend, and he says he has data to show that the press has turned more negative against Biden than the press was against Trump. What do you think about that? Trump and some of his allies are promoting a hate movement against the American press.
Okay, this guy tried to make it in social media and he couldn't. Nobody. I want to know the research that you came up with that America was just clamoring to have Brian Stelter back. Nobody listens to this guy. Nobody. But hey, if you think he can help you with your dumpster fire ratings, go for it. I'll be happy to pour gas on that. Remember, CNN, that was so far in the tank, they then tried to launch a social media channel, a paid subscription channel. If nobody's watching you for free, what made you think they would pay you money to watch what they're not watching for free? But that's CNN, the most trusted name. But yet we're going to go after conservatives over disinformation. And I'm going to go back to that for just a moment. That so-called disinformation, Russia disinformation, again, Dave, Ben, Tim should have known better where that was coming from. But the one thing that is interesting, this Tenet Media exerted no control over the content they made. In other words, Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and Dave Rubin were going to make those videos no matter what. Now, why would a company invest millions of dollars in a media personality that they then took no control or ownership over their material? Can you say that maybe the CIA worked with Russia to discredit conservative media? Or even it's the CIA pretending to be some Russian group funding conservative media as the big October surprise? Think about it.